Hey everyone, my name is Wikz. Welcome back to my channel and to my series Palmetto. Today we're making a wallaby and kangaroo walkthrough while making a little food cart. So sit back and enjoy. Hello everyone and welcome back to another episode of Palmetto Zoo. Yes, it's been a little bit, but we're finally back and I have a good episode for you here. Today we're making a kangaroo wallaby walkthrough habitat. Yeah, it's been something I've been wanting to do for quite a while now, and I think the result of it today turned out amazing. You can be the person to judge that, but my whole kind of concept idea is based on a lot of different places I've been, safari parks, the Danish zoo even, where they have a lot of these walkthrough habitats. I know bush gardens have too, but it's not like a walkthrough. It's mainly based upon because in the Danish zoo, you literally walk in a little gravel path through their habitat, where there's no enclosure, there's no habitats kind of way, so it kind of feels like you're more free, and they can literally come up to you. I don't think they do, but they can. So what I'm doing here is that first of all, you saw me building this little kind of shed in a way, and then I'm trying to do some loggings and try to make a cool fence all the way around here. And I'm trying to kind of like keep an Australian Outback vibe to this. So I'm using different pieces, and I'm really trying to make things look nice. Because I didn't really know if, because the habitat I've seen too, it's very short. Like people can look into them from the street view, and it's just, I don't know if they will be able to actually jump over and stuff. But in this case, they won't, and they won't escape either. So I think we're good for this specific section here. But it's really nice, honestly, to see this area come together. The more and more we build, and now we have like koalas, Tasmanian devils, and now we will get kangaroos and wallabies. I first wanted to put emus into, but I didn't know how good that would actually be in a habitat like this, to have them walk around freely when people can walk too as well. So I thought that was not a good idea, so I kind of put them back into the trading, and then we will most likely add them to another area to the section here, right? So I think that's pretty good, and I think we should be like pretty good compared to what we want to do and what we want to achieve in this section here. And when this episode is done, you can see how much stuff we've done. I do a lot of different other things than just this habitat today. Well, at least I make a little food kind of cart or truck, because they are everywhere here in Tampa. So I felt like we needed a few of these as well, and especially at the plaza of the entrance. But we will go back to that in just a few seconds here. As you can see, I started slowly building all these log fences around the habitat, and then I'm just trying to make this little area here work as well. And this is for the people that, or the guests that maybe don't want to get into the habitat here, so they can look from the outside instead and get a good view of the wallabies and the kangaroos as well there. So yeah, as you can see, when you go into the zoo here on the right side here, that will be the Australian Outback, which you will see me build a sign for later on in this video too. But honestly, I was just grooving a lot with this. I thought this was super neat and super cool concept, and the way everything mingles and matches together now, like the Tasmanian devil habitat with the koala habitat, it kind of like makes this nice little zoo situation already, and I'm a big fan of that. I think it's super dope. Now here, as you can see, I'm trying to do some custom glass barriers, fences in a way, and I think it worked out pretty well, honestly. So as you can see here, everything is pretty custom in this habitat today, and I was grooving with this, and it really it's just really fun, honestly. Like I'm having fun building all this kind of stuff this time because it's more realistic stuff I'm building. So a lot of more of you can maybe relate to this too. And yeah, I just think it's super dope. I found this European LED tube, and it actually works very well for making these knobs on the glass barriers to kind of like make sure that they're put together nicely with the barriers, you know. I thought that was a very, very neat idea, very neat concept as well. Yeah, as you can see, it's just really getting there now with all the surroundings with this fence here, and I gotta say, I really enjoy that we can make so many custom things in this game. Like it's a very positive thing for me, I feel like. So going back to the habitat here, so in Denmark, as I told you, they have like these ropes, kind of like that's being the road, and then there are a few signs that says don't interact with the animals, don't touch the animals, etc. Maybe I'll also add some of those things in here, but that's kind of like the concept and idea I have this from. So when the guests walk in here, they'll have this street, this path for them to walk through the habitat, and then it just makes a nice enclosure, you know, and also kind of like give a cool barrier on where you can walk and where you're not able to walk. And I think that's really nice. I didn't record everything of this because it's pretty just same. So we're gonna cut over to something else now, and this is gonna be more of the shelter of the habitat here. I honestly didn't really know exactly how like backstage habitat shelters work for these kangaroos, because the way I see them is mainly like they're a lot of sleep, and they don't really have any. And maybe a few sheds they can go in, and that's kind of like the concept I'm doing here too. So I'm trying to use this corrugated roof here and kind of like trying to make an Australian kind of iron shed, you know, you would see in the outback somewhere. And I think it worked out pretty well though. It makes a good backdrop to the habitat, and it just adds a lot more depth and a lot more character to the habitat. So I feel like there's a pretty good call to do something like this in the habitat, because this is the only shelter they will have, most likely. And I think it worked out pretty well, because you can see I'm trying to design it a little bit different, and just go with it and make it mingle with the pieces and the atmospheric what do you say, like biome that we're doing. I wanted to have it more deserty, but then I looked at the animal requirements, and it's not really that deserty. So I kind of just made like long grass and a lot of sandy, and really not any water though. I know they have like this little like how do you say, like a gravel pit almost in the Copenhagen Zoo, where literally they are all sleeping in, holding hands. It is so freaking adorable. It's really cute. But in this case, I just didn't really have I didn't have a room for it in this habitat, and I didn't want to expand the habitat because I felt like it was a perfect size for what I wanted to have. And when you see it, when it's finished too, when you'll see the wallabies and kangaroos jumping around, you kind of agree on that it would be too many things in this habitat here, and we want to keep it subtle and nice for the animals here. So as you can see, the shelter is coming out really nicely here. Doing a little bit of extra things, and then I'm adding these oceanic driftwood pieces, which are freaking cool, dude. Like it's an amazing piece, and I think I'm gonna use these a lot more. Just that Oceania pack in general, it's such a good pack. So but yeah, we're heading up some chains for the shutters here, and then we were just kind of like adding a little bit extra, fixing up the fencing behind it so it looks a little bit more integrated. And yeah, now we're just kind of like fixing up everything in the habitat, like putting in some like their sleeping quarters and etc. And then afterwards we are going to do a little bit extra stuff in the habitat, and then we are adding the wallabies and the kangaroos, and then you'll get to see how much of a vibe it will be in here when we get these guys jumping around. Remember what I said about the emus? I accidentally took them away again because it was just too many animals for this little walk-through habitat. So I'm saving that for for the other one, the next one, which I do not know what will be yet. I don't know if I will go over to the wild north and continue to build something over there, or if I will go over to the reptile house. But we will see, though. I also have a lot more blueprints coming up from people from the community that we are going to take a look at. I'm thinking when we reach episode 10, which is soon, I think we're going to do a little walkthrough of the zoo so far and introduce some of the builds that some of the community members have done to be part of this zoo here, which is really cool, man. Like I love it. I'm a big fan of the contribution so far, but more of that later. But as you can see here, we are slowly adding more foliage, more trees to the habitat, making it more alive, and it just works. It just works wonders, honestly. I'm a big fan of that. So now we're going over to the little funnier part here. I'm kind of duplicating the same concept shed of the shelter of where the guests can walk through to get into the habitat. And I think this is very important that you build a little extra entrance to it, because a lot of zoos has that too, where you go through a door and then you go through another kind of door, because you don't want to risk the animals to escape when the doors open, right? So really cool concept there, and I felt like I needed to do that here too, and that's kind of like what I'm doing here, as you can see. And then we're adding lots of clutter, and we're adding it on both sides of the walkthrough, and it is perfect. It doesn't need to be more than this, and I really like this. It's a cool idea, and I've only made one walkthrough the entire time of Planet Zoo, so I felt like it was about time I made another one. Yes, I made the lemur habitat in the Palmetto Zoo, which is also an amazing habitat. But yeah, it's something I haven't done in a while. I haven't done a lot of things like habitat wise. Like I haven't really done like a cool, like a seal or like a beaver habitat in that way too. So I'm looking forward to get started with these habitats too, and see what my creativity takes me. So it's really cool. As you can see here, duplicating it to the other side too, so we get like identical entrances and exits, and it works well like this too. Like the locks and everything just comes together nicely. And as I say, I do a little bit of different things on each side, putting some foliage on top and some planks on the top of the roof, so it gets a little bit of a unique view from depending on which way you're coming from. I'm also doing stuff off the camera, like the entrance for the keepers. I'm doing a little bit of stuff there because I didn't really know what to do. So it just kind of became like, like a trial and error session for a little bit. But I found out what I really wanted to do, and it works very well. As you can see here, did a little cool entrance to it and made it mingle and mix very nicely together as well. So, I mean, honestly, it just comes up and being a super cool habitat that mix and mingles together with the surroundings already. The terrace kind of view that I have for the Tasmanian devil also kind of affects the view here in the habitat for the kangaroos and wallabies. So it kind of like combines these two areas together, which I really like, and that's what I like about building, when you slowly starting to get all the areas combined and everything starting to look like a proper zoo, and I'm a big fan of that, big fan. So as you can see here, we're adding some foliage around and making it look nice around the habitat, so we don't have any gaps and etc. And here I'm just trying to hide all the foliage that will peek through eventually. There are a few other things that will be added to this habitat, but I felt like now was a good stopping point, and because it looks nice and there's something to present here. So using these as I got from the workshop, it's not a mod actually, it's Leaf that put them up, and they're very useful. I'm gonna start using them a lot more, like a gravel kind of pit and or mulch, and they work very well. I can put the link down in the description so you guys can see what I'm talking about if you need it for future builds and etc. But as you can see here, friends, we are slowly kind of done with the habitat more or less. I'm going to add a little bit more things here and there, but in general I'm happy, I'm satisfied with how it turned out. So now we are moving over to kind of like the entrance to this area here, while we are doing the food truck, as I told you as well. So this was kind of like just improvised. I didn't really know what to do. I kind of like just wanted to put in something that was Australian and felt outbacky. So that's kind of like just what I'm doing here, making like a big sign and adding some details here and there, just trying to make it look interesting and like inviting at the same time. And honestly, I don't think it's horrible. I was struggling a little bit with it because I really didn't know how to implement the big sign I'm doing here in a sec. But at the end, everything kind of worked out together when I add the food cart and some fences in the back. And as you can see here, there's a lot of trial and errors going on, but we are eventually getting it all together nicely, and that's what's the main point about this. As you can see, finally we can start putting in a lot more foliage, and this area, just as you can see, the more we add this, it just becomes more alive and it feels like a proper zoo now, you know. And I'm using this fencing, this driftwood fence, because it's just nice, man. It just makes a good backdrop to everything, and it works wonders. It really works wonders. Australian Outback sign here. Very simple, using the game fonts, and then adding a little "the" on top of that. And then that's pretty much how this is gonna look like. I will obviously make a few more posters, as you saw last episode, with more of the animals from Australian too. So don't worry, there will be a little bit more of eyesight looks and posters the further in you go into the zoo, and also the more animals we can get, the more posters I can make for them. So it's pretty damn nice, honestly. But yeah, as you can see, the sign and entrance is slowly kind of working pretty well here. So yeah. So now we're going to the last part of the video. I have never in my life either used this truck in Palmetto Zoo, and I felt like it was about time to do so. Because as I told you earlier in the video, Tampa has literally so many of these food trucks everywhere. It's pretty crazy. And I felt like we need that too at the plaza, at the entrance. And I most likely will maybe add one more further into to the zoo, depending on how far we go with it, you know. But as you can see here, yeah, slowly adding this, and instead of just having this boring truck, I'm adding a little bit more detailing to it. You can see I'm making this gulpy sign, and then I'm actually adding some clutter on top of it too, so it feels like it's a traveling cart, and it has a little bit more to it than just being a cart with a little sign on. So I think that's pretty damn cool. It reminds me of the trade cart I made back in the day, but that was just a custom cart. But now we have all these ropes, and they really help out a lot with the free stuff you want to do with the ropes here. But as you can see, and especially these pieces too, just in general, there's just so many golden pieces in this game, and it's quite amazing what you can do with it. Quite amazing. As you can see here, just adding a little bit of different things so the card doesn't look exactly like everyone else's. And as you can see, trying to do some roping here, and it actually turns out very well when eventually we'll get everything put down together. I'm adding these little holders and a little iron bar in these little ropes, so it feels like it's attached to the building. And honestly, man, it's very cool. I think it adds so much to this little truck here, to just add these kind of like traveling bags and clutter pieces on top. It just gives it a little bit more, again, like character. And I think that's what really makes it pop up. That is when you can try to do some more unique stuff to your builds, instead of having it as a lot of people have to, you know. So if you want to, people, I can put this on the workshop. Let me know in the comments if you want to have this car on the workshop, or if you want to wait until I have a few more collective of them, so you guys get a little bit different ones. Because I can see that this is not going to be the last one I'm making of this. So yeah, let me know in the comments, guys, if you want this as a blueprint, because I have no problem making it a blueprint in no time. But as you can see, we are slowly adding the last parts here, and it just works, man. Like I'm very happy for this. It gives a nice character to this card. So yeah, that's pretty much the episode for today, guys. It was episode 8, and we are slowly getting close to episode 10. So yeah, but I hope you guys enjoy the video. Join the Discord, like the video if you think it deserves it, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye, friends.